Hey there, Patriots. Welcome back to the front lines. Death Watch here to give you guys more intel so you can update your personal armory and fight back against the fake news media machine. And today we'll be discussing Russell Brand. I'll be tossing my hat in the ring, right? We'll be talking about these allegations, right? Because apparently four people have came out against him saying that Russell Brand over the years going way back to 2004 all the way up to 2013 have been, essentially engaging in a lot of sexual misconduct with these individuals, right? And for the most part, I'm going to be the milk toast fence sitter when it comes to this situation, right? Because on one end, maybe Russell Brand back during his the height of his career, right? I won't say really the height of his career because I think he's doing a lot better now than he was doing before, right? But during the his earlier career, that's probably a better way to say it. Earlier in his career, he openly said, yes, he was very promiscuous, right? He says right here, he issued a denial in a video posted across his accounts of several media platforms, insisting his relationship had always been consensual, right? He portrayed the reports as a litany of extremely egregious and aggressive attacks and said that they pertain to a period of his career when he was working in the mainstream. As I have written about extensively in my book, I was very, very promiscuous at the time, right? So that's kind of the situation that you get yourself into when you are somebody who is very much promiscuous. You get in and out of bed, or you engage in a lot of activities with individuals, right? You never know who can then come back and use that against you, right, in the future, right? And that's kind of where I kind of split hairs, right, when it comes to this situation, right? Because one thing that I've always criticized about the Me Too movement is the lack of court cases, right? I never liked the idea of people being able to just go to social media or go to the press or go to all these other outlets and just say X, Y, and Z. This person did X, Y, and Z to me, or these people are monsters. This is what they did to me, and then people immediately get deplatformed. They immediately get removed from their jobs, right? And there's no actual court cases, right, happening, right? That's why I always have been against the Me Too movement, right? However, with from CNN Entertainment, UK police investigate sexual assault report after Russell Brand allegations, right? So I'm kind of happy to see that the UK police is actually investigating this, right? However, my criticism for all this is, like, again, going back to 2004 is when these allegations first started. Okay, that is literally like 10 to what, 17, 18 years ago, right? um that's crazy to me. Or 19 years, right? 2004, so that, yeah, 19 years. So anywhere between almost a decade to 2 decades ago is when these allegations, we're having to go back to those time periods to try to figure out whether or not these allegations are true or not, right? That's where I kind of also drew the line on the Me Too movement, because it's like, at what point are we just going to say, hey, after a decade or two, right, we are clearly not going to there should be criticism here. Okay. That why, right? The essentially the criticism that always should be is that, why are we now just hearing about these allegations? Why are these allegations now kind of being revived and put on life support and then rekindled in order to try to burn the individual, right? What is the motivation behind a lot of, behind this, right? Reviving a decade or almost 2 decade old allegation. Okay. And so, a lot of people on the right who are now kind of sitting here saying that, well, when you look at Russell Brand, a lot of leftists are trying to paint him as a conspiracy theorist, right? Which is the new hot the new hot buzzword for the left, to just instantly defame people and try to destroy all credibility, right? Because conspiracy theorist really means nothing, right? You can go into the definition of conspiracy theorist or conspiracy theory or whatever, right? It's just, it's nothing to do with flat Earth, right? Or reptilian people or whatever, right? Is very much just, hey, I'm going to question authoritative power, right? I'm going to question what a news outlet or a world government or a world governing body or a multi-billion-dollar corporation is telling me or trying to get me as the individual American citizen or whatever citizen, whatever country you are in, right? I'm just, because I'm a freedom American, sorry, I always will relate it to Americans, right? But you always got to question this, right? Which used to be, right? I wasn't politically active, right? I was a literal child back in 2006, 2013. Okay, no idea of any of this crap, right? However, when I look at people who are 30 and 40 years old who were politically active during these time periods, right? Russell Brand is very much just a average, authentic, what's it called? Classical libertarian. I think that's the new term a lot of people are using nowadays, right? Back during the Occupy Wall Street days of 2011, 2012. I believe that's when Occupy Wall Street was. It was essentially a bunch of lefty people came out and was like, hey, we don't like the fact that a bunch of multi-billion-dollar corporations just got bailed out. And that's always been for people like Tim Pool and people around that left wing space have always said that yes, questioning multi-billion-dollar corporations, right? Especially when you look at these bread tubers, right? These left-wing socialist types who always are like, well, we can't trust these billionaires and these millionaires and things like that. It's like, okay, well, that's always kind of been a libertarian stance to question people with a bunch of money who are clearly trying to use their power, their money, their influence to bribe politicians, trying to lobby the government in order to get more favorable taxation or favorable market share or whatever, right? Trying to manipulate that, right? We just recently had a bunch of Congress passing a law banning the fact that banning inside trading, right? So for years now, people who are politicians making our laws in Congress were able to sit here, write out the laws, and then buy up stock in different corporations that they knew that these laws will clearly impact and give these people a profit. So they will then buy up those stocks. And so they pass the laws. A year or two later, guess what? The stock share for these corporations just went up. These politicians just made money, right? They just recently, I think last year, just banned inside trading for politicians, right? So yes, you should question that crap. You should always question the motivation behind multi-billion-dollar corporations, millionaire corporations, politicians, world governments, everything, right? That's kind of intrinsic to the American identity, right? Really. But that always has been a classical libertarian stance for lefty people like Tim Pool, right, like Russell Brand. That's always been part of the left wing identity to always question these things, right? Now all of a sudden you're labeled a conspiracy theorist for continuing to do the same in current day politics, right? It seems more like the right wing GOP are now the new kind of lefty libertarian types, right? Even though they clearly are not. You see the consistency between conservatives is kind of the same. Conservatives kind of always been the same ever since the Reagan era, right? Whereas leftists have completely just veered off, going to no man's socialist commie land, right? And so it's that's where I kind of sit on this situation. That yes, when you look at Russell Brand, he is a classical libertarian person, right? For people who are Democrats, right? Who do not care for Fox News, do not care for Tucker Carlson, does not care for right-wing pundits, right? They can easily go to Russell Brand, look at his content, because I watch a lot of his content, right? They're very easy to follow, very digestible, very well cited, right? Journalists, I believe they use journalists that he constantly cites use I forgot, it's like a website that they give you clear cut presentations, right? Of what what articles, what content they're talking about, right? And it's very easy to follow, very easy to digest, right? And if you are a Democrat or a lefty person who's trying to learn about politics, learn about certain things, you can Russell Brand here is a very easy gateway to get into that, right? Because he is a leftist person. He questions the GOP. He questions mainstream Democrats. He questions mainstream media. He questions a lot of things, right? And it's easy, it's not in some conspiracy no man's land. No, he uses well-sourced individuals, right? Well-cited individuals, well-sourced content to make his points, right? So it's easy to sit down and listen to him and not get lost in the sauce, essentially, right? He's not a conspiracy theorist. He's just somebody who is a classical libertarian, like they used to be, which was always questioning authority, always questioning the motivations behind everything that happens in the world, right? It's clear cut. And so, yes, I can see clearly how it is very much convenient, politically convenient for people to kind of, again, revive these almost 13-year, right? 10 to, what I said, 10 to like 19-year allegations, to then revive them, put on life support to try to attack and defame this person, right? I clearly can see the motivation as to why that is convenient for these people to do, because we have seen in the past where certain Democrat operators, people who are super donors, super PACs, have been, who basically made it their entire career to go after right wing or anybody who's non pro Democrat establishment. They make it a career to go after these people, search up dirt, any type of dirt that they can find, and then fund or hype up certain situations to try to get these people who are against the Democrat establishment kicked off platforms, right? To get banned straight up, right? You see right now with I think Elon Musk and what's it, his situation with the ADL, right? Elon Musk is currently trying to sue the ADL for trying to use their influence to try to get advertisers kicked off, or try to. I guess it's supposed to be like tortious intervention, right? The ADL is using their influence as, the Anti Defamation League or the anti hate crime watch force, right? To sit here and use that, try to go to advertisers and say, hey, you don't want to work or cooperate on Twitter because Twitter is a hotbed for hate crime and all this other hate speech and all this other crap, right? I think that's the kind of situation that Elon Musk is trying to sue the ADL for, right? And so, yes, you clearly see left-wing super PACs, super donors, people who are openly funded by left-wing activism, openly trying to dig up dirt on anybody who is against the Democrat establishment and try to destroy them through any type of legal means, right? So yes, I can sit back and look at both situations. I can look at what conservatives saying that, hey, this is clearly a false flag, being used to silence another anti-establishment voice. On the other flip side, I can clearly see that, yes, with these investigations here, I can clearly see that maybe Russell Brand probably had a very heinous past, right? And these girls are, trying to finally get some type of justice, right? But again, I will always err to the side of, when these allegations are, 1 decade, almost 2 decade years old. And, always got to question the motivation, because again, when it came to the Me Too movement and to a lot of people who have been accused of these type of allegations in the past, is clearly seen as politically motivated and meant to silence the person, right? Even if this person has done something in the past, right? We can look at Alex Jones for that type of situation, right? Was Alex Jones right for saying what he said way back in, I guess I forgot I don't even know what year it was, right? But we all know he got sued for $1 billion, right? In a defamation case, right? Was he right for saying what he said? No, he wasn't right. Okay. But he said that, I believe a decade ago, right? He said what he said like a decade ago, and he has since apologized for all that, right? However, we know for a fact that the people who motivated that lawsuit, right, who instigated that lawsuit, were left-wing activists who were getting a bunch of money from Democrats in order to comb through legal issues that relating to Alex Jones because of current day political situations, right? And so they then corroborated and dug up dirt that Alex Jones has said in the past, and then tried to coordinate to try to get these people to then go into, to sue Alex Jones for what he said, right? Right? Had they never intervened, Alex Jones probably would have never, in my opinion, I should say that, in my opinion, I don't think Alex Jones would have ever been sued or the legal case will have ever really came back up, because guess what? It was definitely an outside force, right? Definitely an outside force with an agenda pushing for to revive that court case in order to push for that defamation case, right? And again, was Alex Jones right for saying what he said back then? No, he wasn't right. I don't, I don't agree with what he said. However, I will sit here and say that yes, clearly there was a political motivation to silence and to destroy Alex Jones behind that defamation lawsuit that they brought up against him, right? So, both can be true at the same time. Russell Brand, he could probably most likely have done done these things to these girls, right? I'm always going to err on the side of innocent until proven guilty, right? But that's not to say that reviving, a decade, almost 2 decade old allegations does not have any type of political force or any type of instigation to silence Russell Brand, a very open, anti-establishment person. No, I don't. I definitely think that both can be true at the same time. Okay, so but again, I'm always going to side on the air of innocent until proven guilty. I want this to I want this investigation to continue. I want it to go to court so that we can sit down and say for sure whether this is bogus or was this proven. Is this proven to be true, right? And that could then be put buried in the dirt, right? So let me know your opinions about this whole situation. Again, innocent until proven guilty. He could have done it. He could have not done it, right? This could be politically motivated. However, who knows? Who knows at the end of the day? I will, again, always err on the side of innocent until proven guilty. The BBC has this, Russell Brand in plain sight trailer where they kind of sit down with these people who are accusing him of sexual misconduct, right? And they do this full interview. So hopefully, there's some type of, maybe there's some type of good evidence that's being kept from us, that might prove that Russell Brand is in fact guilty. Who knows, right? But again, innocent until proven guilty. I do not like I do not like these types of kind of attacks or these types of allegations that clearly have should have been brought up years ago and are now just being randomly revived and pushed into the limelight, which I only can sit down and say that this is clearly being used as a political weapon or political tool to silence or deplatform somebody who certain interests find them to be problematic. Right? We have seen this happen again, and we have seen this happen in the past, and it's going to happen again and again and again. Right? So with all that being said, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment down in the comment section below. Apparently, comments in the comment section helps with algorithm. Who knows? But definitely leave a comment. Tell me how you guys, what you guys feel about the situation, and I'll see you guys on the front lines.